Warring States is an open-world RPG taking place in medieval Japan where a lowly merchant has to rise up against the odds to follow an ancient prophecy and bring peace to a country ravaged by war. The game opens on August 9th, 1590, with the player meeting their protagonist, Katsuro Isamu, a lowly pottery merchant living in the Izu province just trying to earn a livable wage for him and his mother. One day, while he's working at his stand, word spreads that the daimyo of the Hoyo clan, Hoyo Ujimasa, is visiting the village. Once there, he informs Katsuro that he fits the description of an ancient prophecy which states that a merchant will bring peace to Japan by uniting all of the clans by any means necessary. He doesn't believe it at first, so Katsuro finishes his work and heads home like usual, until the next morning where he wakes up to find out that Hoyo Ujimasa has been slain in battle, which Katsuro takes as a sign that the prophecy must have been important, and therefore he goes on a journey to fulfill its promises. This journey will require Katsuro to conquer all of the major clans spread across Japan, which all have their own strengths and weaknesses that Katsuro will need to target. The player will need to deal with the daimyo of each of these clans, either through communication or combat. Once all the clans have been dealt with, it's revealed that the son of Hoyo Ujimasa, Hoyo Uji now, is trying to reinvent the Hoyo clan to undo the work of Katsuro as a form of revenge, as he believes that he's responsible for his father's death, and the player will need to deal with this clan to bring true peace. Due to the large scope of my game's story, it will need to be spread across a large time frame, most likely over 50 hours, to ensure all parts of the game have equal meaning and development. The game will be in a third-person perspective and have the player's choices they make form how the game's story goes. Each daimyo can be dealt with either through peace and communication and trying to get them on Katsuro's side, or through combat and dealing with the different clans with violence. Depending on how the player chooses to deal with these, changes what will happen in the story after these encounters. Players will need to gather different information from the surrounding area about how to deal with that specific daimyo, either being different combat techniques or different topics of conversation to try and make that daimyo an ally. Throughout the game, the player will be given choices to make that will either lean towards being more harsh and mean-spirited or nice and kind-hearted. And these decisions and these different paths the player can go down will change how the story goes and how characters will interact with them. As if the player presents themselves as more kind and nice, more characters will be willing to interact with them, but they may also get sort of pushed around as they're seen as weaker, whereas if they act more mean-spirited, they won't get bossed around as much, but characters may be more reluctant to speak with them. Whichever one of these sides the player goes down will unlock different pathways not available on the other side, so these choices are very important to unlocking parts of the narrative. The scope for this project will be a very large AAA game as it has many different features, mechanics, a massive world map, and overall would just be too much content for any form of indie development team to be able to deal with. Therefore, this project will need a very large team working on it, with multiple workers in each role in order to make quicker progress, and even then, I'd envision it taking several years to be fully completed and developed. One way this game would stand out from other games though is that it would probably need some sort of historians in the background, making sure that the characters and places being written about and played in are accurate to how they were in real life. All of this together would mean that the game needs a very large budget, which could either be gathered from crowdfunding or company funding.